All right. Well, thank you guys so much for talking with me. Now, you've both, between the two of you, you've been in two of the biggest fantasy franchises of the past few decades. Obviously, I'm talking about Downton Abbey and Green Street Hooligans. But,
of course you are, absolutely.
So is this kind of an old hat to you now? Just like, yeah, ancient witches, magic, no big deal, or?
No, I think it's new every time.
Yes, very true. And I think the fantasy genre is, it's a fantastic genre. It's very, very exciting and interesting, and particularly with The Last Witch Hunter, we have, well, at least, Lionsgate and Breck and everyone involved, they've created this fabulous, visually stunning, beautiful world that, kind of changes. We interchange into reality and then obviously kind of into the rather dark, seedy medieval era, and so, yeah, it keeps you on your feet.
And it feels very fresh, it's not based on a pre-existing novel or graphic novel, or it's not a sort of sequel or reboot, so it really is attempting to sort of create a new mythology and a new set of stories, and that's refreshing.
Sure. Cool. Now, Rose, you in particular, your character's kind of a badass. No offense, Elijah, but you walk around with a book a lot.
Hey, dude, it's fine. I know my place.
Did a lot of work go into visual effects and stunts and stuff that your character does? Or?
So, yes, there is one scene. Chloe is, at least in her apartment, and she gets dragged through the wall into the netherworld, the rather terrifying kind of...
Was it the first bits that you shot?
That was my first day.
Wow.
Yeah,
watching the film, I was like, that's when that was her first bits.
Yeah.
That's an action-packed first day.
It was. I mean, I jumped right on in there. That was the deep end. But a lot of fun. And as a result, I had these ropes attached to my ankles, and then I was pulled through this wall that they had on stage, and there were two men behind the wall, and at the same time, both of them just yanked me. And you have to fight that and kind of make it
fun,
realistic. Yeah, it was awesome.
Fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, Vin Diesel's character obviously has been kind of cursed with immortality. He's walking the world forever, cannot die. If you guys were cursed with immortality, what would you do with the rest of your life?
Oh God, it would just go on and on and on. I would hate to be immortal. I think maybe the first couple of centuries would be great. But then I'd get very lonely. I'm not very good. I get quite lonely anyway. So, I wouldn't want to do that.
I suppose
I would get an option of not
I would thrust myself into things that I would normally find terrifying because
you can't die.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think in some ways they're right, or any number of things. Swimming with sharks, you could do all these kinds of things that you would have been terrified of doing before. And if you've got I really picked up on that in the film, actually, because there's a scene very early on in the film with Vin Diesel. Calder is on an airplane, and the airplane looks like it might be going down because it's going through really bad weather created by a witch that's on board. And he's not nervous at all. And I clicked into that, of course he's not nervous. He's not going to die.
Yeah.
Even if the plane goes down, he'll survive.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's no secret really anymore that Vin Diesel's kind of a huge nerd. Plays a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. Do you guys play Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that? Are you guys big nerds?
I'm a big nerd, but I never caught on to Dungeons and Dragons.
And I just don't game. I don't game, kind of full stop. I mean, I did have a conversation with him. With Vin at the beginning of kind of shooting and wanting to break the ice and getting to know him about D&D. And I was just completely out of my depth. He has extensive knowledge on that subject, and we've got a whole different language. So I pretty kind of swiftly backed away and realized that would be a ridiculous conversation to have with Vin, because he knows so much more than I.
Yeah, I'm a nerd, but I don't do that kind of thing. I collect records, I play video games, I watch movies. That's kind of where my geekdom lives.
Cool. Now, we talked about what you do if you went forward with immortality. What about in the past? Is there anyone that, if you had been alive for 800 years, that you would have really wanted to spend some time with, would have liked to meet?
Anne Boleyn. I would love to have met Anne Boleyn. Yeah, I would have been all over her. Fascinating woman. Yeah.
Cool. There are plenty of time periods that I would love to have existed in. I'd love to have been in the 1950s in New York City to see all of the jazz greats. That
Cool.
would have been incredible.
Awesome. Now, Elijah, I have a question for you. IMDb tells me you were in Back to the Future 2 as a little boy.
Yes.
With that anniversary.
It's really coming up a lot recently.
Yeah, with that anniversary, is that kind of special? Because was that your first like big movie that
It
you
was
were
the
in?
first film that I was in, yeah, albeit a very tiny little role.
Yeah, is that weird at all? Looking back, like, man, that was a long time
Not
ago. Now
weird.
it's-
It's awesome to have played a tiny little part in that saga was a real treat for me. I love those films so much.
Did you appreciate it when you were that small?
I did, yeah, because I'd seen the original,
Very cool.
and they started shooting the sequel in 89.
Okay.
So yeah, and 85 I think was when the first one came out. So yeah, I'd seen it and loved it. It was awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
So, well, you look exactly the same. Kind of makes me wonder, like, do you have
Exactly
maybe
the same!
do you have like maybe I don't know a ring or something that keeps you young or
Something.
Moisturizer. That's what it is, isn't it? It's moisturizer.
Well, I really appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you.
The Last Wood Hunter comes out October 23rd.
Indeed, it does.
It's action-packed movie, so you guys are both great in it. And
Cheers,
I
thanks.
appreciate a chance to talk to you.
Thanks, man.
Lovely. Thank you very much.